Hello Year 10 and welcome to week 6 of your home learning. Today's lesson, carrying on with UK economies, we're looking at to revise the topic that we've learned so far. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to recap the UK economies terminology, so what are the key words and what do they mean. We're then going to look at pie charts, how we read them and how we'd answer a question if you were asked to read a pie chart. And then the final learning objective of the lesson is to review UK economies named examples. So we're just going to look at the concepts that we've learned about and link it to places within the UK. So the equipment we need today is a pen and paper, or you can use a Word document. Remember, if you are using pen and paper, that your handwriting is clear, and when you take your picture to upload to class charts, that it's a clear picture so it's not blurry, so that your classroom teacher can read it. And then finally, just looking at know your level. Remember, we're not saying that you can't push higher and challenge yourself and do a higher task, just letting you know what we expect you to be doing. So if you're a grade 4 or below as your MG, we would be expecting you to do the developing task. If your MG is a 5 or 6, you should be doing the secured task, and if you've got a 7+ as your grade, you should be aiming to do the mastered task. So learning objective 1 of this lesson is to look at UK economies terminology. Terminology just means the key words and what they mean. So the task I'm going to ask you to do is to complete an online crossword, which is on the Word Wall website. The link to this is on class charts. You will need to open up the link and then you will have a blank crossword. You click on the different parts of the crossword, it will come up with a clue. You read the clue and then you answer that clue in the crossword. Some of the answers are not just key terminology from the UK economies topic, there are also command words that you would find in GCSE exams so that you get used to understanding what those command words mean. So once you've completed your crossword, I want you to take a screenshot of your complete crossword ready to upload to class charts. So can you just pause the video now, go back to class charts and open up the link to the crossword, please. So moving on to learning objective 2 of this lesson, we're looking at pie charts, and the learning objective is to look at a pie chart and how we read them and how we use the information to answer an exam question. So the example on the board is 2 pie charts. They're showing the same information but for 2 different countries. So what I want you to do is just think about, how do we read a pie chart? So I just want you to pause the video now and just have a quick think about that question. Okay, so now that I've given you a bit of time to think about the question, let's just go through what the answer is. So a pie chart is made up of 100%, 100% being your whole number. If we look at the USA as an example, it's been split up into the 3 different types of job sector: primary, secondary and tertiary. And in the USA, 75% are doing tertiary jobs, 23% are doing secondary, and 2% are doing primary jobs. Now, if you add those 3 numbers together, that will give you 100%, and that would be 100% of your population. That is then been divided up into the different job sectors in terms of the number of population that does each type of job. In terms of this pie chart, you've got 2 different pie charts showing you different countries so that we can look at them and compare how their job sectors are different from looking at the percentages on each pie chart. Okay, now that we've gone through how we read these pie charts, I just want to go through the task that I'd like you to do using these pie charts. So for developing, outline one difference between the job sectors in the USA and Nepal. So that's 1 mark question. So one difference is, so can you tell me a difference between the jobs that are done in Nepal and USA? Remember, even though it's 1 mark, I still want you to back this up with some information. So if you're going to say that the USA does more of this job than Nepal, you need to tell me how much percent that the USA do compared to Nepal, okay? For secured, describe the difference in job sectors between the USA and Nepal, and that's 2 marks. So generally, the difference is this. So you need to tell me what are the differences in their jobs. So in terms of each country, which one is their highest and how are they different? So when I mean how are they different, what percentage are they? Closer in, back that up with some information. So closer in, I can see that the difference between the primary sector in Nepal and USA is this. the difference between the tertiary sector is this and this. Okay, so you're going to tell me the actual difference. So you're going to take away each number from each other so you can see the actual difference. For mastered, why do you think this trend exists? So I think this trend exists because, and remember, just think about looking at the two different job sectors within the countries. How does that tell us about their development? Okay, so once you've finished this piece of work, you take a picture of it, ready to upload to class charts. Okay, moving on to our final learning objective of this lesson. We're going to look at UK economies named examples. In a moment, you're going to see a map of the UK with named examples labelled around it. We are going to look at the named examples, so the places that we've looked at, in terms of the concepts that we've learned about. So your task is to mind map the locations and key information about UK economies around the map of the UK. You need to describe these key concepts, and you've got sentence starters that will help you complete this. For mastered, can you complete the prompts and then also complete the mastered prompts and questions that you will see on the following slide. So, first of all, we've got our map of the UK in the middle of a page. So what I want you to do, because I don't expect you to draw that, can you just draw two triangles like this in the middle of a page ready to complete this task? So just pause the video and create that image for me, please. Right, now that we've got our two triangles in place that represent the UK, we're going to mind map around this. So this should be in the centre of your page. The first thing we're going to mind map then is the northeast of England. So in the 1970s and 1980s, something was closed in this area, and these were closed due to something. Can you tell me the example of what type of job this is? So remember, which job sector does it link to? And what is this process caused because they've closed this area down? Remember, for mastered, what did this lead to? So what happened in the future after this happened? We're then going to move on to look at London. So what jobs are created? So many jobs in this sector are created. Which jobs are they? There's a train line being built between London and another city. What is it? And how does that link to the UK's importance to the wider world? We're then going to look at the Outer Hebrides and the South Cambridgeshire. And you're going to tell me what's happened to the population in each area. Is it growing? So is it increasing or is it declining? It's decreasing. And then can you tell me what the impacts of this were? For master, can you tell me whether this was positive or negative? And can you explain why you think it's positive or negative? We're then going to look at business and science parks. So the examples that I'm giving you are Aston Science Park in Birmingham, Birmingham Science Park. Can you tell me what each one of these is? So what is a science park? What is a business park? And then can you tell me for each one how it helps the economy grow? So this is good for the economy. How does it make more money for the UK? And then for mastered, why is it sustainable? So this is sustainable because, remember, sustainable just means that it's good for now, but it will also be good for the future. So how is it good for current day, but also good for future generations? We then moved on to look at improvement of transport across the UK, and we looked at named examples. The named examples we're looking at in this task then is Liverpool and Birmingham. Can you tell me what the improvements are and how that will help the economy grow? So how is it going to make the UK more money? Can you think of some facts and figures for the one in Birmingham? For mastered, can you tell me, however, a limitation of this is? So what is a problem or what is a negative of this improvement? You could link it to SEEP. So how is it a negative social impact? How is it a negative economic impact? Or how is it a negative environmental impact or even political? So any one of those, why is it a limitation? And then finally, the last thing that we looked at was the UK's link to the wider world. So the UK was part of these two organisations. This is beneficial because the UK has influenced the world by, so what influences do we have on the world? And then finally, what has happened to the jobs that we used to do that have now moved abroad? And what is this process and why does this process happen? So there's about 4 or 5 different concepts that we've learned about. You're going to mind map around your representation of the UK. Once you've done that, I want you to take a picture of this task ready to upload to class charts. Thank you. So that brings us to the end of the lesson today. Just want to quickly recap what we want to see on class charts, what we want you to upload. So the first thing is a screenshot of your crossword, which links to our first learning objective, which was recapping UK economies terminology. If you could then upload a picture of your description of a pie chart, again linking to your second learning objective, what is a pie chart, how do you read them? And then finally, last task that we did was revision task on examples and concepts of the UK economies, and that links to our final learning objective, which was review UK economies named examples. So those are the 3 pieces of work we're looking for you to upload. So again, thank you for participating in this lesson today. We're looking forward to seeing your work. Thank you, and continue the hard work, guys.